Hello everyone. In the continuation of logistic regression, we are back with decision tree. In this video, first we will understand what is decision tree. Then, how can it be used in regression and classification models? And then, we will build a decision tree model from scratch like importing data, cleaning it, feature selection, and lastly, build a model. And then we will explain all the terms related to it. So, before we start, here are a few details about DataMonk. In DataMonk, we help students to prepare for different type of interviews. We also provide study material for SQL, Python, statistic, case studies, and machine learnings. You can look into more detail here. So, let's start with decision tree. Decision tree is an algorithm which has revolutionized the whole machine learning scene. Based on decision tree, we have many algorithms like random forest, XGBoost, AdaBoost, and lot of boosting trees which is out there. So let's quickly understand what is the decision tree. A tree has many analogies in real life and turn out that it has influenced a wide area of machine learning covering both classification and regression models. In decision analysis, a decision tree can be used to visualize and explicitly represent decision and decision making. As the name goes, it uses a tree like model of decision. Though a commonly used tool in data mining for deriving a strategy to reach a particular goal, it is also widely used in machine learning. So, how can an algorithm be represented as a tree? For this, let's consider a very basic example that uses a Titanic data set for predicting whether a passenger will survive or not. Below model uses three features from the dataset, namely sex, age, and number of spouses or children along. So as you can see, this is our model. In simple terms, we say that decision tree is a series of if-else statement. Like first question we will ask in this will be if sex is female or male. If it is male, then we will move toward the next branch. And if it is female, then we will say it survived. Then if it is male, we ask our next question. If age is greater than 9.5 or less than 9.5. If we say it is greater than 9.5, we say that the person died. Then, if we say if it is less than 9.5, then we ask one more question. If number of children with them is greater than 2.5 or less than 2.5. And if it is greater than 2.5, then we will say he died. And if it is less than 2.5, we will say he survived. So that's how our decision tree model is built, only on the basis of if else statement. So in this decision tree model, we only get answer as survived or died. Therefore, we can say that it is a classification decision tree. And in regression decision tree, we get a number as a continuous variable. So we can say it is a regression decision tree model. After that, we will see how we assign the value to the root node, like what question asked in the root node and what question asked in the branch nodes, and how we further bifurcate the nodes into various parts. As you can see, we have a data of our old car. In this, we have three columns which are our predictor, age, kilometer, and HP, and one column which is our target variable, which is price. So, in decision tree, we look for a variable that causes the highest reduction in the variance. And after choosing the variable, we assign it as a root node or branch node. So, what do you mean by root node? As you can see, our root node is the first question we ask in this, and our branch node is which is further bifurcated from the root node into further branches. So is age or is SIBSP is our branch node, and is XMail is our root node. Then in this, first we will look for the high variance and low variance. As you can see, in age we have high variance, but in column and HP we have very low variance as all the values are very same, and in age there is high variance, so we will take it as our root node. So after taking age as a root node, how we assign the condition to it? So we will assign the condition by looking the class of it. So like as you can see, in first two cases our price is very similar, 100 and 110, and in last three cases our price is also very similar, 500, 550, or 700. So from this we can choose that if our age of the car is greater than 20, then we can assign the price of the car from this equation, as we can't consider kilometer and HP as there is very low variance in this. So let's see the decision tree for this model here. Here is the decision tree for this model. It say that if our age of the car is greater than 20, then we will take the mean of all the cases which are 500, 550 and 700, then assign the average of all the three cars as the price of the car. And if our age is less than 20, then we will take the average of the first class which is 100 and 110 and then assign the mean of the two cars as the price of that car. Then after that we will see how the regression tree and classification tree work. In regression tree, the value obtained by the terminal node or the root node in training dataset are the mean values. As you can see, we are taking the average of all the sample in this set and then assigning the price of the car. But in the classification tree, value obtained by training are the mode values. As you can see in this figure, we have divided into two branch with respect to the how many number are there in this, like there will be all male and in this there will be all female or have high entropy for female and male in these branches. Then as we have discussed about linear regression and decision tree, so our next question will be when to choose linear regression or decision tree while making the model. So linear regression is a linear model, which means it works really nice when the data has a linear shape. But when the data has non-linear shape, then a linear model cannot capture the non-linear feature. Most of the data we face in the industry is not linearly correlated. So in industries, we mainly work on decision tree and mostly we never work on linear regression tree. Now let's look from the sketch how we build a model. First, we will build the regression decision tree and further know about their hyperparameters. So, our problem statement for this model is create a predictive model which can predict the price of the house with the help of the neighborhood in Boston. And the target variable is MEDV and the predictors are text, age, distance, cream, indus, chas, Knox, and etc. They all are short form of the variables. So first we will import the library from the Panda and NumPy and then read the dataset into the data. Then after reading the dataset, we will delete the duplicate value if any from the dataset. Then after deleting it, we have print the head of the data. So that's how our data look like. We have to predict the MEDV and these are all the predictors. Now we will see the visualizations. After that, we have used the info function to check the missing values and the data type of the columns. And if there is missing value which is greater than 30% of the total data entries, then we will automatically delete that column so that we can predict accurate values. So after that, we have used the describe function. By using the describe function, we can know the statistical distribution of our data. And also from the describe function, we can see the outliers, if there is any or not. Then after the describe function, we have used the anyUnique function. So the purpose of using the anyUnique function is to check whether the column is categorical or the continuous. And how do we check that? If the unique value is greater than 20, then our variable is continuous. And if the unique value is less than 20, then it is our categorical. So as you can see in this table, we have two columns as categorical, which is chase and red. Then after finding the continuous and categorical predictors, we will visualize them. First, we will visualize the categorical predictor using the bar plots. So to visualize it, first we have to group the data. So we have grouped the data using group by. Then after grouping the data, we have plot the bar plots. As here you can see the bar plot of chess and red and their distribution. Like in chess, we have two values 0 and 1, and we have most values of 0 in chess, and in red it is normally distributed, but in chess it is somewhat positive skew data. Then after visualizing the categorical predictor, then we have visualized the numeric predictor variable using the histograms. So here is the statement for the histogram. After this, we have predicted the histogram for all the variables. Here is what it looked like. So from this, we can also see that our B value or Zn value are somewhat highly skewed data. So we can neglect it, and our Knox, distance, age, indus, they are pretty good distributed data. So we can use it in our predictor value in our model. Then after seeing the visualization, we will explore the relation between the two variables. So to explore the relationship between the two variables, so like if our variable is continuous versus continuous, two continuous variable, then we can only use scatter plot. If our variable is continuous versus categorical, so we can use bar plot and box plot. And if our variable is categorical versus categorical, then we have only one option, which is bar plot. So first we will see the distribution between two continuous versus continuous variables, which are our target variable, and some predictor variable, which are continuous variables. So here it what look like. This is our scatter plot, and we can see that our target variable and the relationship between the age. And in this, we can see that our target variable and relationship between the distance. And also in this, we can see the relationship between our target variable and Knox. After seeing the visual relationship between the continuous versus continuous, we can also use the statistical measurement of continuous versus continuous using the correlation matrix. How do we find the correlation matrix? Here is simple line for printing the correlation matrix, and this is what our correlation matrix look like. And in this correlation matrix, we only have to focus on our MEDV because it is our target variable, and see if there is any value which is greater than 0.5 or less than minus 0.5. And if it is, then we can consider it have good relationship between the our target variable. So in this, like, we can take index have somewhat good relationship as it is close to 0.5, and in this also, like, rm has good relationship as it is 0.7. Then we can take it like pt ratio has good relationship, text has good relationship, and lset has good relationship. So we can take all this variable as our final predictor while building the model. Then after seeing the relationship between the continuous versus continuous, we will look the relationship between the categorical versus continuous. So for categorical versus continuous, first we will plot the visualization bar chart. Then after plotting it, we will see the statistical measurement. So for visualization, first we will see the relationship between the meta versus and chairs using the bar chart. So first we have to group the data of the chairs and then plot the bar chart. And here it is what it look like. This graph tells us that it is the average meta for each chairs. Then after the bar chart, we can also see the box plot of this, and this is how the box plot look like. Then after seeing that, we can also see the relationship between the meta and red, as it was our second categorical predictor. And here it is what it looked like. And in this, we can see that it is equally distributed graph. Then after seeing the visualization, we can also see the statistical measurement using the ANOVA test. So for ANOVA test, we use hypothesis testing, and we consider assumption as H naught, means that there is no relation between the given variable. So we have performed the ANOVA test for both the chess and red, and we got value which is very less than 0.05. So we can consider this variable as significant in respect to our target variable. Therefore, we can consider this two variable in our final predictors in building the model. Then after choosing the variable, our last step will be to pre-process the data. So to pre-process the data, our first step is treating the missing value. So first we will see if there is any missing value. But writing this, we can see that in our data set we have no missing value. Therefore, we save our time, and for categorical variable processing, we can see that it is already processed in the form of 0 and 1, and we don't have to use the dummy variable as there is no nominal variables. So now our data is ready for decision tree. So we will build our model. So as we all know, to build any model, first we have to split the data into two parts: training sample and testing sample. We don't use the full data for creating the model. Some data is randomly selected and kept aside to see how good our model is. This is known as our testing data, and the remaining data which is used to build our model is known as training data. Typically, in industries, 70% of the data is used as training data, and the rest 30% is used as testing data. So after that, we have assigned the variable as our target variable and the predictors. So in target variable, we have choose the MEDV, and our predictor are LSTAT, RM, PT ratio, text, index, and etc. Then after assigning the values to predictor and target variable, we have split the data into 75% as training data and 25% as testing data. And what is random set? In random set, we can assign it any value. By assigning the value, we can assure that we are choosing the data in different order. Then after that, we usually choose the testing data from 0.2 to 0.3. Why so? If we choose the testing data which is greater than 0.3, then our model will be underfit. And if we choose the testing data which is less than 0.2, then our model will be overfit model. So to create a perfect model, we choose in between of 0.2 and 0.3. Then after that, we will quickly check the shape of our testing data and training data. So in this, you can see that our training data has 379 rows and 9 columns, and our testing data has 127 rows and 9 columns. Then after seeing the shape of our training data and testing data, we will directly see how our decision tree is built and what parameter we consider in it. As you have already seen, decision tree is a multiple if else statement. So first, to create a decision tree, we have to import the decision tree regressor. Then after importing the library, so we have created a model known as reg model. And while creating the decision tree, we have two hyperparameters. First is max depth and second is criteria. So we build a decision tree on the basis of this criteria only. We have choose the MSE, which is mean squared error. So we will create the column on the basis of mean squared error. And now, what is max depth? Max depth is just the height of the tree. So in this, we have choose the height of a tree as one to take an example how our model will look like. Then after assigning the hyperparameters to it, we will fit the data into our model and then predict the value using the XGIST. Then after predicting the value, we will check the goodness of fit of our training data and the accuracy of our testing data. To check the goodness of fit of our training data, we use metric.r2 score and our training data. So we have printed our R2 value and the accuracy, but you have already noticed that this all are same as the linear regression. But there is something different from the linear regression, which is this feature importance chart. What do you mean by feature importance? So in decision tree, as you have already seen the root node and the branch node, so feature importance chart tells us that which data we have to choose as our root node and then how important other variables are. So you can see our feature importance chart. It will look like this. As we have already considered our height as one, so it will only consider one variable as very important, which is RM. And then if we increase our height by 2, 3, 4, then we will consider other variable also in this. We will see it later. Now we will see how our decision tree for this look like. So to plot a decision tree, first we have to import some libraries. In Windows, we have to import the pip install graphviz, conda install graphviz, and pip install Pilot Plus. Why we are importing graphviz two times with pip and conda? Because in conda there is some extra file which is not there in pip. But for Mac, I was having some problem with this statement, so I used the brew install graphviz and pip install Pilot Plus. So after installing the libraries, I have created a decision tree. So first we have to create a dot data to plot a decision tree. So what is dot data? So dot data is just the information which we have to put it in the decision tree. So from this line, we have assigned the dot data values. So after assigning the dot data, we have drawn the graph, and from this we have shown the graph. So here it is what it looked like. So as our hyperparameter was only one, so we have only created one layer. Because we are creating only one layer, our accuracy will suffer. Now we will understand what all this value means. So first you will see Rm less than 6.941. This is the if else condition. If it is true, we will move toward this, and if it is false, we will move toward this. Then after that, our second statement is MSE, which was mean squared error. So it is basically the variance of our data. So as you can see, we have printed the variance number of our root node, which was 88.68, and it is the same value as 88.68. Then our third statement is the sample. So what does this sample mean? Sample means the whole data which we have considered while creating the model. So 379 is the total entry of our data set. Then our fourth column is the value. What does the value means? So value is just the mean of all these 379 data, which will come as 22.908. So value means the average of our data. Then if RM is less than 6.941, then we will move toward this statement, which will give us the value of 19.954. And if it is false, then we will move toward this column, which will give us the value of 37.175. So this is the decision tree of height 1. After that, we have created the decision tree of multi-layer. So as you can see in this, our maximum height is 3 and criteria is always MSE in the regression model. Like in classification decision tree, we have many criteria like Gini index, entropy, information gain. But in regression tree, we have only one criteria, which is MSE. Then after creating the tree, we will plot the decision tree of the height 3. And as you can see in our feature selection, like in feature selection 1, it was only RM which was there. So in decision tree with height 3, we will consider 4 variables: PT ratio, Knox, LSTAT, and RM, as they are important for predicting our MEDEV. Then after creating the model, we have plotted the decision tree. This is how it look like. So as you can see, our first is RM less than 6.941, means that RM is of very high importance as it has very high variance. Then after this, if it is true, then we will move toward this, and if it is false, we will move toward this, and it is further bifurcated into second layer and third layer, and finally we will get our answer. Therefore our accuracy for maximum height of 3 is increased by 4% with respect to the maximum height of tree 1. So that's all about our regression decision tree. And now we will look into the classification decision tree. So to create a classification decision tree, first we have to import the new data set, as our old data set was to predict the continuous variable. But in classification, we need to predict the categorical variable. So we have imported our new data set, which is Titanic survival data. Then after importing the data set, first we will look into how our data set look like. This is our data set, and we have to predict our survival column in this. So then first we will remove all the qualitative column from the data set, which are passenger ID, name, ticket, and cabin. After removing the qualitative column, this is how our dataset look like. Then in this dataset, we have to remove all the missing value in our dataset. So we have used the drop now for removing all the missing values. So after dropping all the qualitative column, we have to treat the missing value. So for treating the missing value, we can choose two options. First is to drop the missing value, and second is to treat the missing value. So for this, we have dropped the missing values. After dropping the missing value, we have to treat the nominal variable. So to treat the nominal variable, we have assigned male equal to 1 and female equal to 0 in our data set. And now you can look in our 6, which is 10001, which means 1 equal to male and 0 equal to female. Then after treating the nominal variable, then we can treat all the nominal variable using the dummy variable. So we have got a function known as getDummies. We have applied it in our data set. So as you can see, we have embarked column which have value like SC, SSS. So we have used dummy variable to treat this. Now it look like this. As you can see, like in the first column we have embarked equal to S, so it will be like 001. And in second we have embarked equal to C, so it will be like 100, and so on. Then after treating the data, we have split the data into training and testing data in the ratio of 75% and 25%. Then we have to create a classification decision tree. So as you have already seen in our regression decision tree, there was two hyperparameter, which was max depth and criteria. But in criteria, there was MSE, mean squared error. But in decision tree, we have criteria as entropy. So what does this entropy mean, first of all? So basically, entropy means the randomness in a group. Like if our data set has very mixed value, like you can see in this figure, so our entropy will be highest. So in this, it will be near to 1. And in second figure, our data is little less impure than this one. So our entropy for this will be around 0.5 or 0.4. But in our third figure, it is of minimum impurity. Like we have only data of one class. Therefore, entropy for this will be around 0. In this, we have used the criteria as entropy, but we have other two options for using in this criteria, which is Gini index and information gain. So after assigning the hyperparameter values like max depth equal to 2 and criteria equal to entropy, we have fed the data and predicted the value using the XGEST. Then after that, we have printed the classification report and confusion matrix. As in regression model, we have printed the R-square and accuracy, but in this we have printed the classification report and confusion matrix. And then after that, our most important feature in decision tree is the feature importance chart. So we have imported the feature decision chart, and you can see in our figure. So for height 2, we have considered 3 variables, fair, P-class, and 6 for predicting the survival rate. So now we can plot our decision tree after selecting the feature importance chart. So to plot a decision tree in classification, first we have to install a library known as D-tree plot. Like in regression tree, we have to import 2-3 libraries, but in classification decision tree, we only have to import one library. But for some reason, we cannot use D-tree plot for regression model. Then after importing the library, we will see how our model look like. So this is how our model look like. So now we will understand it in detail. So as for the first statement, it is always the if else statement. Like if sex is less than 0.5 means that it is female, so we will move toward this. And if it is greater than 0.5 means that it is male, then we will move toward this. After the first statement, our second statement is the entropy. As you have already seen, what does the entropy mean? So in this, entropy is the randomness of the group. So for entropy equal to 0.95, this means that our data is very impure. Then for sample equal to 668, that means that this is our total data entries for our whole data set. And for value, what does this mean? It is just the number. If we add both the values, we will get our total number of entry, which is the sample. Like as you can see in this, 421 plus 247 equal to 668. At last, our class. What does this mean? So like in this, our class equal to s means that it is survived, and it is the mode of all the data. Like we have survived class greater than unsurvived class. So if we have some condition like if we have a data of the female with p class less than 2.5, and we are asked to tell that if that person will survive or not. So from this decision tree we can tell, like if it is female we will move toward this class. Then we are given that our p class is less than 2.5. So p class less than 2.5, we will move toward this class. So this tells us that the person will not survive. Hence, this is our prediction. So that's all about the classification decision tree. Hope you understand both regression decision tree and classification decision tree. Thank you for your time. Do like and share the video for more good content.